Hi there, I'm Nancy Nash with Starfish Strength, and today I want to help you become a nutrition bargain hunter. If you're like me and you enjoy a good bargain, it's probably because you feel like you're getting something that you want, maybe something that you need at a really great price. That's how I like to think about nutrition too. I love a good nutritional bargain because to me, that means that I'm getting something that maybe I want or my body really needs for fewer calories than another brand. And really, this comes down to label reading. The items on the shelf that look alike aren't necessarily alike. So you may already know that the calories in food come from fat, protein, and carbohydrates. And a calorie is simply a standard unit for measuring energy, defined as the amount of heat it takes to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Now, you don't have to remember that, but I do think it helps to keep in mind that 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories, 1 gram of protein also has 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, over twice the amount of the other two. In my mind, a good nutritional bargain has more of what my body needs and less of what it doesn't. And it tastes good. Sometimes it tastes better than the brand I was already buying, but it should taste pretty much just as good or almost just as good as the brand I was buying. And if a good nutritional bargain also turns out to be a good bargain for my wallet, even better. With all that in mind, here are my tips for reading nutrition labels. So let's talk about fat. Fat is good in moderation, but what I really need as far as fat goes is unsaturated fat. I look for things to be as low in saturated fat as possible, and I also look to see that they have no trans fat. We'll go into macros in detail in another video, but just understand that your body really does need a certain amount of good fat to function well, and it can be also used as a fuel source. So don't eliminate it completely. When it comes to carbohydrates, I'm looking for quality carbohydrates. The way I would define that reading a nutrition label on something that's prepackaged is that I'm looking for higher grams of fiber and lower grams of sugar in relation to the total number of carbohydrates. Because fiber does a lot to support our body. It really helps our metabolism, it helps our digestion. It even helps to regulate our blood sugar, so favoring fiber is a good rule of thumb. Most of us get plenty of sugar without even having to think about it, so generally speaking, lower is better. Now with something like cereal, which I do love, if you compare two cereals that look very, very similar, you're probably gonna see that some of them have a lot more sugar than others. Some of them have virtually no fiber. I want to find a brand that has some balance. So it still, again, tastes good to me, but maybe it has a little less sugar and a little more fiber. Checking out the protein on the label, I'm thinking that I want a little more protein and a little less fat for the same number of calories. When comparing foods that I'm specifically eating for a boost of protein, like lean meat, tofu, milk products, or protein powder, I consider something to be a good source of protein if it has at least 1 gram of protein for every 10 calories. Protein-rich veggies like mushrooms, legumes such as beans and peas are great sources of protein that also pack a powerful punch of fiber. And then when you are comparing labels, I also recommend taking a look at the sodium, because sometimes you find that those are radically different. Preserved meats like bacon, it might be 200 milligrams for the same size serving as another brand that has 400 milligrams. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day for adults and no more than 1,500 milligrams per day for those of us with elevated blood pressure. That's less than a teaspoon of table salt, so keep a careful eye on sneaky sodium because it really adds up quickly. Frozen meals that can seem otherwise healthy can have really elevated levels of sodium. So sodium does have an important role to play in our electrolyte balance, but really we need what we need and we don't need more than that. And some of us hold on to it easier than others. Check with your doctor if you tend to have low blood pressure, as I do. You just want to make sure that you get the right amount for you and you really don't go far past that. So this will take a little testing, a little trial and error to really find what works best for you. But as you find your own nutritional bargains, I would absolutely love to hear about them. Please leave me a comment below and we will take a much deeper dive in future videos into really making quality food choices. But in the meantime, I hope this gave you a really solid jumping off point so you feel better prepared and more informed to make more of what you're eating and buying right now. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you can use some of this information to seize your inner star. If you do want my help taking a deeper look at your nutrition plan, you can always reach out to me in the application link in the description. And I look forward to continuing this journey together. I'll see you in the next video. And a calorie is simply